Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Weifeng. I'm a microsurgery teacher in University of Wisconsin Madison. And today we have a visiting student, our guest student, Hiba. Hiba is a M4 medical student. She's interested in microsurgery and plastic surgery. And she spent one month in the rotation in our division. Now this is the third week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one more week. Yeah, and we give every medical student rotating in our program for a hands-on course to practice with me. And our goal is to go over the microscope, instrument, and suture. Is to kind of keep the foundation so they can move forward with that knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, Hiba. Yeah, tell our friends a little bit about you.
Yeah, so like Weifeng said, I'm from the University of Virginia, but my family's actually in Minnesota, so I'm from St. Paul. But yeah, I'm very excited for this opportunity to learn more about microsurgery.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's get started. Yeah. See if that's we can sit straight and then our foot can touch the floor. Touch the floor. Yeah, so this microscope is funny microscope. Like you try, keep turning it to like this side. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. It's funny, right? Now you start and then when it's ready and then keep turning it. Yeah, if I do tell Western, they forgot how to turn this on. Okay, so the microscope, the first thing is microscope is our good friends. Yeah, so, and also a big toy. So just it's built very solid. It won't kind of broke and easy, so it can last for a pretty long time. So just play with it. Doesn't matter. So the microscope first have eyepiece to match our eye, and then the objective lens, and then the foot control to zoom in and zoom out, and then there's a joystick you see on the left side, right side. The joystick can move the microscope in orientation. That's for the minor adjusted. So we have sometimes we just want to move a little bit. So in that situation, if we use our hand, maybe move it too much. So the first thing is not make the microscope focus. Is to make the eyepiece match our eyes. So you can see here, you can bend it up and down. So we want eye look straight. That's the most comfortable way. And here is the interpupil distance. So after you match it, both of your eye can see one circle, and you can remember that number, and then you can just go directly to there when you use a microscope. Okay, now you try. You can go from bigger and small, and then see if you can. Yeah, when you can see. How when you can. you see it now? Yeah. So when you can see one circle, that means it's the right interpupil distance for you. Let's go. See it. Now I want you to try, like stay away, and then you look in the mic, then you can see there's two light spots in the lens. Then I want you to move your hand slowly close to that and keep looking at that light spot, and then you tell me what happened. Looking at that. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Yeah, it becomes one, right? You can see there, getting closer and merge, right? Yeah. So that's the way of eye teaching. So sometimes some of the students, they have some struggle at the beginning, kind of, what do I see what to do? But slowly you can get used to it. That's the problem I have. At the first moment, I kind of close one eye and close another eye, just switch my eye into micro. I calculate the whole month, and until suddenly, maybe it's the eye muscle of my eye, it works really hard, and then helping me, and finally it works. Kind of the muscle making my eye kind of yeah. So and then I realized this is a good method. Okay, and then look at here. There's some number here. So this hand, and here's plus and minus. And then and here's a number 0.7. No sense. Right, and then now the magnification of the microscope now is 0.7 times 10. So it's 7. So you go up and down, it's still different. And then one thing very important is this minor glass. So when it turns, this one is changed to diameter of the lens. If you turn here, it didn't change anything. Yeah, turn here, yeah, that will change the diameter of the lens. That's making it like turning to this one if you are reading glasses, and turning to this one for the nearsighted people. So if your eye is normal, make sure you're already wearing contact or something, or already correct, your eye is normal now, and then make sure put it in the middle. Neutral position. Yeah, you can see there's a white bar. Like for me, now I don't know, I have some nearsighted. Now it's like getting old, I don't know what happened to my eye now. I haven't seen the doctor maybe 20 years. So now I have to let my student, he make it focus, he can see clear, and then I change this one to have putting up glasses for me. Yeah, this one is very important to make sure to help you and your student can see a same focus level. Yeah. So if you put it in here, like kind of you are already wearing reading glasses, and then when you can adjust the microscope, can see clear, your student won't able to see clear. So that's the problem. Another use of this method, this thing is I thought it didn't click it, so the voice. There's some okay, if you could. Yeah. Echo is better than no sound. So here, Another secret use of this one is when you go to the OR, and then your teacher already doing microsurgery, but and then you set up the microscope, but you cannot see clear. That means there's something wrong. So, but your teacher, he can see clear because he's doing microsurgery. So at that situation, you can turn this one, kind of making a glasses for you. No matter turn to the left or right, so just kind of see which way can help you see clear. Yeah. Now it's not the focus yet. Okay, now we step on the zoom in and zoom out. Oh, and one more thing. Stand up and look at here. See there's a live spot there, right?
Yeah. Oh, I do.
So this live spot is the light from here through the lens and then project to here. Project here, and then it become a light cone. So in this distance, it becomes the sharpest point. It's kind of most focused point. So we want all the lights enter our pupil, so our eyes should stay away like this distance away from the lens.
Oh, okay. So stay a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the beginning, I don't know. I want to see clear, and then I use my eye on it and making a circle on my eye. Yeah, that's it. So I make every mistake. That makes me a better teacher. Okay, now try the zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, you can look bigger. Yeah, just go all the way. Okay. Yeah, now it go to all the way 24. 2.4, that means 24 times because we multiply it there. Yeah. Then here's a manual change. You can see. When there are something wrong, you can change by hand. I don't know if they're still available in the OR microscope. But this one is it has the option. Okay, and then you can step on the zoom out again. Use your heel. You can use your heel instead of this one. That's easier. Yeah.
And then we're at 7.
Yeah, go all the way to the lowest part. Yeah, that's 0.4. Yeah. Okay. Let's move it to the middle a little bit. Yeah, still remember. Okay, so now we want to look into the microscope. Now at 4 times the diameter of the field, you can see it's about how many centimeter? Millimeter.
It's 10 to 60, right?
Yeah. Don't need to be very accurate. Just almost like 60.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can write down 4 times 60.
Oh, 4 times 60.
Yeah. Okay. Now the depth, we can see very clear. It's like about on my side is about here 2.5. And beyond that, it's getting blurred. Can you see clear now?
Yeah, I can see clear.
Okay. Okay, now let's zoom in the microscope.
All the way there?
Yeah. Okay, now zoom in all the way. Stay all the way now.
Yeah.
Okay, now lose focus. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
step on the focus and then adjust the focus. Yeah, that's worse, yeah. Yeah, it's about like 8 or 10 or something like that. Okay, now let's take a look at depth. Now the depth is really very minimum. It's just about like 2 millimeter. Yeah. Yeah, so that the same thing like we talked about last time. So bigger field at 4 times, that's very comfortable doing microsurgery. When it goes to like 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter high, it's really hard to do anything. So in the microsurgery, we want to do things. We want to go to the microsurgery. We want to use bigger field, and we don't want to see things bigger. We want to go to like the lowest power. We can see things comfortable, and then has bigger space also. So that's the better option instead of go to see things bigger, but we can only see minimum space. That's not good. Okay. Now zoom out the microscope again. Yeah, and then zoom in the microscope.
Zoom in?
Yeah. Yeah, so Hiba, this time you see when we zoom in the microscope and zoom out the microscope, it stay in focus.
Yeah.
And the first time when we zoom in the microscope, it lose focus, and then we have to refocus it again. So we like the second way. You want that's best. It stay in focus whatever we go to whatever magnification. So the difference. What is the difference? What makes this difference?
Because you focused it when you were at the highest magnification.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about is about the depth. Now the focus, the depth in here, right? It was 4 times. The depth about like 24 or 25 millimeter. So when we can see clear, that means the ruler is here and here or maybe here. When it goes to 24 times, the depth become only 2 millimeter. So if the ruler is in here, it fell out of focus. Only when we are very lucky, the ruler is within the same display, and then we can stay in focus. But most of the time we won't cause it that lucky. So and then at 24 times, we have to refocus it. The microscope move it, and And that means the ruler is in here. And after that, we zoom out the microscope, the depth become bigger. The lower power, the depth become bigger. So the bigger depth will definitely including this small depth inside. So this is there's a terminology of parfocal. This is the best data of the microscope. So to achieve that is to set up the microscope in a higher power. This way can helping the microscope stay in focus no matter in what power. Like for example, we do it for a finger replantation. We may repair the nerve use 6, maybe repair the digital artery use 8, and then when we go to the posterior we may use 10 for the vein. So it changes. So if you set up the microscope like in higher power, like maybe 20 or something, and then when we do different things, we don't need to adjust the microscope. We just zoom out to the microscope to the appropriate power. We can do anything. So yeah, I learned this. I don't know. I know this method. I know this thing, but I don't know the name of that until the Zeiss representative told me. Okay, and that's the depth. That's the real thing. How we use the depth. Deep. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're left-handed?
I am, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I realize you use your left. You put the paper on this side. Okay, now zoom out the microscope. Let me share our training to Facebook. Do you use Facebook?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, and then we have YouTube channels. Okay, now we talk. Any question about the microscope?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, and then now we talk about the instrument. Okay. Here. So there's only 4 instruments in microsurgery. So we see a lot of things there. There are only 4. Needle holder, scissor, forceps, dilator. So if you have these 4, or sometimes even you don't need the dilator, that's good for most of the microsurgery. Like sometimes we have the coupler, this one, the coupler. You may not have to use it. A lot of places they don't have that because they need to buy it from the US. That's imported. Now in China, this one they charge like maybe 3,000-4,000, 3,000-4,000. I mean RMB.
Yeah.
In here it's about $400. Yeah. So when we talk about and the imported material, the insurance won't cover 100%. So you have to pay for out of pocket. And then when we talk to the patient, do you want to use this one? They always want to ask like, what's the benefit? Or I can because I pay more money. And then there's not much like only the time. You may say like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And the successful rate in a good hands is almost the same. Because if you are not a good microsurgeon, you should not use coupler. Yeah, because there's still a small detail you need to pay attention to make it successful. And then the quality, the successful rate is the same or similar. And most of the time, the patient don't refuse to use it.
So it's only a time saver.
Yeah, and the time is mostly the.
Yeah.
It's your time. It's not my time.
Right.
So the patient will talk about like that way. Okay, so what's the difference do you see?
Well, there's different. They're sharper, or the tips are more narrow for some of them.
Yeah, the tip, yeah, and then the tip, what else?
Oh, and the
Yeah,
grip is different.
yeah, the handle, yeah, flat handle, round handle. Yeah, and then the material. You can see like these three is the different material. This is titanium, so this is a stainless steel. Yeah, so and then mostly important is the tip. So like this one is the standard tip. Like this set, you can see this. Like this is kind of very similar. So this is from the standard set. Sorry, of the reconstructive microsurgery in plastic surgery. So when we say standard, it's about the tip. The tip is 0.3 millimeter. See? Yeah, it's pretty very close. Like this needle holder, forceps is also 0.3. And like this one is also a standard. It's very close to like 0.3. This one is also 0.3. Yeah. So most of the instrument they make it as 0.3. When we use holding a long bigger needle, like this one is about like 0.5. And then the rainbow one is the finest one. You can see the tip. Like this size not smaller, but the idea is they make it thinner, so you can occupy the needle smaller. So this is 0.01, 0.1, see? 0.1 is like 1/3 of the standard. Here's some information on the handle. Curve is the C is curve, so the needle holder tip is curved. There are some straight needle holder, but most of the people they like the curved needle holder. And then this is 14. See that? I think did you pick up the sounds? Joy can? You should pick up the voice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then here there's something special. Like you can see this locking needle holder. Yeah, you try. Yeah, try see how you lock and how you unlock. And another feature of the needle holder, you should know is like actually like some of the you can see here's a gap. See? Yeah, some of the old needle holder they don't have a gap here. Like in here they even making it wider. So if there's a very little gap here, sometimes the suture will get caught in here while we using the needle holder.
So it's like prevent that.
There's this one. Like this one, you may see, take a look at this one. Here, they also design a small gap there. So now most of the company, they already pay attention to that. Because if there's a low gap there, sometimes when we holding the suture and then the suture get cut in there, get cut in there, and then it's really hard to use. This is really a big needle holder, you can see. That may be like 1 millimeter. Yeah, so this is not a good micro instrument, too big. Yeah, try. This is the needle holder and scissor combined.
Oh.
So I use this one when I have to do it by one person.
Oh, okay.
I don't have an assistant, so I have to use this. So I cut after I tie like that. What happened is when I was in a kidney transplant, doing a kidney transplant for a kidney transplant lab, the microscope is only allowed one people, in the research building. And the protocol required me to finish a kidney transplant in a rat within 30 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I set it up very well and then go directly to do anastomosis, but still take me like 33, 34 minutes to get them because every time after I finish the tying nuts, I have to put it down and then pick up the scissor and then cut the nut and then put down the scissor and pick up the needle holder again and restart.
But you could accidentally cut your.
Yeah, that's true. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Because the scissors are pretty close to the.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I caused a big trouble to me a couple of times because I do use a running stitch on the vein. So when I try to pick up the needle, and then the suture was in there, and then I cut it, and then I have to stop there. And later I realized that when I move my needle holder, I always close it, so I make sure nothing inside the scissor. It saved me like 5 minutes, so I can get them like 28 minutes in a kidney transplant, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Okay, so this is one feature of like this one. So like this one is for the super microsurgery. We use the 11.0 or 9.0 suture. The needle is really small. Like this one is also good. I use this one. It's also fully competent or holding to doing super microsurgery. Because like this one is super expensive. This one is about 1,500. But this one is not as expensive as that. Because I know in China we didn't buy so crazy, so expensive instrument, but we still do very good microsurgery in China. And then this is product from China. It's good one. Cost effective. Okay. Scissor. Okay, now this is scissor. And right in the middle, these two big scissors, you can see, and comparing to small scissor, you can see that's something. This standard set for the plastic surgery. We're working on big vessel like ALT, DIP. So, and you can see the blade size is right from the tip to the joint here. It's about like 2 centimeters. And like this one is about from the joint to the tip. This one is about like 12 millimeters. This one is a little longer, like it's about it's about 15 millimeters like that. So the smaller size vessel we're using on finer structure. This is curved and straight. I think about we use curved scissor. In the dissection, we always use curved scissor, and that's why this curved scissor is the dissection scissor. Let's take a look. So here's some information. S&T is a company, they make pretty good instrument. Scissor, dissection, curve, 50 centimeter long, the instrument. And then a straight scissor. From here, the MI is the company. So straight scissor, the first one is scissor, adventitia, straight, 15 centimeter long. Like in the textbook, adventitia, the first step after we transect the vessel or before we prepare, when we prepare the vessel end for anastomosis, we need to remove the trimmed adventitia away. Because the adventitia, we don't want the adventitia get into the lumen. Because the coagulation, the adventitia is the strong coagulation factor 3. tether 3. So once you get into the lumen, it will start a coagulation cascade. So we want to trim it to prevent going to there. So in the testable is you can pull the adventitia away using a forceps, and then use a scissor to make a straight cut here. I think that's why they name it as a adventitia scissor. But that's too good to be true. Most of the time when we can pull the adventitia all the way like that, this part is damaged. So if we still keep this damaged part, sometimes we want to keep it a little bit longer, as we see if we cut it, there will be too much tension. But always, that will teach you or teach me a lesson. If you keep this bad or damaged part, it will start thrombosis very soon. Remember in grandma I said, like I do a radioartery. Before I finished the vein, and then it already clogged. Because at that time at very first I don't understand that's healthy or not. I see a red spot in there. I thought, oh, vessel, that's a red spot, maybe it's not bad because the blood is red. But actually the healthy vessel is all white. Or white. When you see different color like the blue, the red, it's not healthy. You should cut it away, or it won't stay patent. So actually, the adventitia straight scissor mostly we don't use on the adventitia. We just use to cut it straight or cut it spectrally to make a larger diameter at the end of the vessel. Okay, now here there's some special information here. This is commonly.
Scissor dissection curve.
Yeah. So this R is the round handle. Flat handle and round handle. And this is the blade. It's the 5 blade, 12 millimeter long. So the blade side is the 5 blade. It's not a standard blade. So this one still has. This one is not the finest. The finest still has a little bit smaller. We can use that for the lymphatic surgery. So yeah, you can try. Or you can take a picture if you want. Move the lights off. Needle holder. You won't see so many different needle holders at a time. I got this one. I correct all of this one. Take me 7 years. This is the forceps. So like the forceps, round handle, flat handle. Flat handle you can hold it more steady. The round handle have good features. You can turn easier. Like this hand, if you turn, you have to flip it, or you have to turn your hand. So actually I like the round handle a little bit more than flat handle in hand surgery. But at the beginning I thought it's because it's a personal preference. But later I realized that's because of different surgery we do. Like Dr. Paul, he liked the flat handle, and then he retired the round handle to our lab. And I realized it's because he did a lot of flap, the DIEP flap. When you do it, DIEP is a big piece of fat tissue. So, and then your glove is really slippery as you touch it. And if you're still holding a round handle, it's very hard to control. And flat handle is much better. And for me, I was a hand surgeon, so my glove is not as, just mostly it's the bloody glove. so I don't care that that didn't bother me too much, and then I get better from benefit from the round handle. I can turn it easy. I think that's the reason. And then the most different of the things is the tip. Now this is a 0.3. You can take a look at all like 0.3. This one may be a little bit small, like 0.15. 0.15. This is 0.3. This one is one of the damaged one. So I did damage, and then I request a student to use a sharpened stone. You know, some of the sharpened stone they really fine, so I asked them to just sharpen it slowly. See, can sharpen it so fine. It's very close to the 0.1 tip, or maybe a little bit finer than that. But you can see there's a little bit damage of the tip, a little bit bend, so you can feel it when you put it on your hand. Yeah, you can try. That's not good. Yeah, microinstrument, once the tip got damaged, is really. Yeah, you can feel that, right?
Feel that,
Yeah. But the rainbow one is the finest tool for the surgery. So you can see that's 0.05. So it's like 1/6 of the standard one. You can see the tip is really fine. This is not the original size, but still much finer than the regular one at 0.3. You can see. Yeah, try. And then this is the last thing. This one looks really similar to the forceps, but we can see the tip is a little bit different design. So you can see that there's a taper tip and slightly smooth. So this one is the dilator. You can see it's a dilator, 5-inch angle. Yeah, some of the dilator is straight. But like this one is angled, so this one can help us to put into the lumen easier. Sometimes we can point them down, sometimes we put into lumen, mostly we hold them like this way. Dilator is to, when the vessel we cut it, we trim it, and when we're pulling it, and then we expose to the room temperature, the smooth muscle we tend to contract. That's spasm. That's why we need to put it dilated to go back to the normal size. While when we're doing the anastomosis, or sometimes we want to when it goes to bigger. So like there's some discrepancy of the receiving vessel, so we want the smaller go to bigger to reduce the discrepancy. And like this one is 0.3. This one is 0.1. 0.1 is for a smaller vessel. You can see here. And 0.1 they specified wire 1.1 here. 0.3 they didn't, because 0.3 is a hand like a standard, so they didn't put it there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the instruments. And then other than that, there are some like clamp holder, or the Capra. Let's try the Capra also. Capra, that's a hockey stick. This is the measurement, measure the size. Yeah, this is the hockey stick. Hockey stick to push the vessel on that pin. Yeah. And then to install install the you can try to install the see that's arrow and his arrow towards the arrow. Yeah. And then we take it out. So now it's get caught. There's a button. You release it, there's a hook catch here. And then you can turn. When we turn, this bar moving forward. But this device stay in this place. So as we moving forward, close it until the pin go into each side. And then after when it's very close, complete close, this finger starting to get into here, and then push it out. Yeah, you can try.
I see what
Yeah. So we pull the vessel out and then put it on the pin. Yeah. Okay.
Can I close all the way?
No. Yeah.
You can't use it.
Yeah. So after most of the time we use a hemostep to close it, to make sure it completely get into each side. Sometimes you accidentally we didn't measure it in the right size, and then we go to a smaller size, and then ends up too small. That's a constrictor. And then we have to go to a bigger size. Now they have to raise $100. Okay, now and then we talk about the suture. Suture, how you can write down. We have different sutures for plastic surgeries. Mostly we use AO. I guess here. It's AO. This is the 9O. This is AO, and then the 10O. 11O. So at the beginning, I don't know there's some difference or something wrong there. I thought that's okay, that's suture, and then we use it. Mostly of the time we said, what suture? AO suture. But later I realized the company, they have different needle. They have like different needle, and then they have different suture, and then they just mix different suture and needle and make everything. So there's something wrong actually while they're making it. So like here, and AO usually we use the vessel larger than 3 millimeter. 2 to 3 we use on an AO. Larger than 3 mostly is like DIP or sometimes on the vein of the ALT. And then 9O is about 2 to 3 millimeter. That's like the ALT or like the human adult radial artery and oral artery, that size, 2 to 3. And then 10O is between 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is about like the common digital artery or the proximal of the digital artery, that. And then the 11O is on submural vessel. Submural vessel is about like the kids digital artery or the middle or distal phalangeal artery. And 12O usually when the vessel goes smaller than half millimeter. Like think about like this is 1 millimeter, and then it goes to half millimeter, and then we still have to put 6 stitch there. So if we have 12O, use 12O. Now here is something I want to show you. AO, now this is AO suture, 0.4 metric, 9O is 0.3 metric, 12O metric, 0.0 metric, 0.1 metric. The 12O is the 12O here you can see it's 0.01 metric, so it's 1/10 of this one. So that's the suture, and then there's material and black proline monofilament, and that's the suture. And then the length 13 centimeter long, and let's take a look at the needle. This one. This is the needle information. BV, blood vessel, 130, the diameter of the needle, 130 micron, and taper, no, don't skip here, 5 millimeter long. Now this figure is really similar to the real needle inside the package. Taper tip, 3/8 circumference. We don't like half circumference needle in microsurgery because you have to turn a lot. And taper tip. So here, and then take a look at this one. Most different is the length of the needle, 3.8, 5.1. So this is a longer one. So think about the AO suture used on the big vessel. Big vessel we want a long needle. So this needle is too short. Yeah, so I use this one because when I was doing a femoral artery transplant for the stem cell lab, we used the animal, the monkey, the primate. The size is about 3.8, something like that. So it's really hard when I'm using this short needle. Sometimes it's even hard to just pierce it and pick it up from on the other side. And then at the beginning, it asked me, what suture do you like? I told them AO, because most of the time we just tell them AO. We don't tell them specific or what kind of needle. And then I know there's something not AO in the market, in the company they make. So I told them to buy something like this AO I want, and then donate this AO to our teaching. That's why I have this one. And I don't want to use it actually. Still in there. So let's take a look at the NIO. The metric is the pharmacology number, so it's hard to relate to like centimeter, how many centimeters there. Blood vessel, 130 micron, 3.8. So you can see this is the same needle of this one. So they put it on an AO. NIO, that is blood vessel, 100 micron, 5.1. So this is longer than this one. This one, as you can see, VA I think is the vascular surgery, but you can see strategy needle. That's totally not good. We don't want to use this needle on the vessel because we're supposed to after we pierce the vessel and then the suture can block that. This one, no any suture can block that hole. That will become a leaking soil. So they make something hard. And I take a look at this one. So I prefer, because the NIO is still used on 2 to 3 millimeter vessel, so I still prefer this 5.1 long needle. Then I take a look at this panel. See that it's the same needle of the AO. So this is so small vessel on here, and then we use on the same needle on the femoral artery. That's crazy. So I prefer this one that's going to like 50 micron or 100 micron. That will be better. Next to lower. You never know. Like this is going to 50 micron. So it's like almost 1/3 of this one. And the same length and the taper tip. Taper tip as considered as a traumatic. So this one is good. Most of the you never know to put on that suture. And then this is the AO. We got it from the transplant lab. So you can see the needle. The needle is like 175, and this formatted suture is the same. And the A mirrors along, taper point. This is similar to A, and double arm. So the double arm, they walk on both sides and then running all the way and then tie a knot on the top. And the suture is so long, 60 centimeters. So it's like this long. So it's not good for the plastic surgery working under a microscope. They need to hold the suture like this. It's like sewing it. And then they hand tie knots. Yeah, if you go to the cardiovascular surgery or vascular surgery or transplant, when they're starting to tie knots, the nurse will spray water sitting on their glove, and then they just hand tie knots. Pretty good. Yeah, you need to feel that strength of the suture. Don't break it, and you can tie knots. Yeah, it's really not easy. Okay, yeah, any question about the suture?
No, I don't think so. So is it the spatula is obviously traumatic, and the taper is not?
Yeah, taper is not traumatic. This one is this is the suture made in Japan, so it's also very good one. You can see here. This is AO, and then the 0.4 metric, 150 micron, pretty thick, right? And 5 millimeters long. And you can see that the body is round, but the tip is not round. The tip has has 3 cuts there. So I use this suture, this needle. It's very easy to pierce the vessel, even a thick wall vessel. Like the AO we use on a thick wall vessel, big vessel, right? Using this like this AO, this AO is the taper tip. We can feel the needle become blunt after we use it for a while. Like if now you may not have that experience, like the scalpel blade. After you been make incision for several times, the scalpel blade become blunt. And it's still pretty sharp. But when we're using it, we feel the difference. That's the same thing. After we use like this regular needle, pierce the vessel multiple times, it become blunt. But this one is pretty good. Yeah, amazing. Maybe the needle, the stainless steel is a little bit better in Japan, thicker or something, or stronger. Yeah.
So would you ever use this kind of needle with a spatula?
No, I
would
wouldn't use
never.
it. I told the nurse to. If I go to other country, I have no option. I have to use it. Yeah. So I want to talk about the sutures, because if you are the microsurgeon in a well-established program, you already have a lot of sutures. Mostly should be good. But if you are the first microsurgeon in the hospital, a lot of hospitals they don't have microsurgeon yet. And then the nurse asks you, Hiba, what suture do you like? And then you tell them AO, and then they bought their AO. You have to suffer for years. If they buy one box, one big box, you have maybe used it for 2 years, 3 years. You cannot donate to teaching. That's the problem. Yeah, so that's the point. Making our life easier. So like this is the 12-0. Yeah, this is the real 12-0. You can try to pick it up. Yeah, now this is the 9-0. Yeah, you can bring it together and see. This is the 90 5.1 lens needle and 100 micron. This is the 12. This 12 is the 3.5 millimeter and 50 micron. Yeah. Yeah.
These are both? No, this is a 1202?
Yeah, that's the 12. The bigger one is the 90. Yeah, good. Yeah. Fire away.
It blew away for an hour.
Fire away.
Oh, it's here.
Probably not. That's your big one. Yeah, that's the 90.
Oh, that's another one. Oh.
Let's see. That's,
Oh, I see something here.
oh, that's the suture. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, the suture still holds the.
Oh, there.
Okay, yeah. Let's
Cool.
take our suture and then try. Okay, this should be a 90. Yeah. Now pick up the suture and then tie knots.
Okay.
Yeah, tie knots we teach 4 different methods in here.
Okay.
Tie knots. I see. This one is not good. We want to lay the knot flat. Different requirement in different situation. Yeah. So like first thing, we want to help me to cut the suture.
Big scissors.
Cut here. Yeah, cut it very short. Okay. Now scissor is important when you feel your hand needs support.
Yeah.
Use the other hand to support it so you can
Okay.
stabilize your hand. So for pick up the needle at the beginning it's really hard. So at the beginning I feel wow, it's so hard to just pick up a needle and then holding it in the right direction to start. So I just practice at home, pick up the needle many times until I feel comfortable. So actually easier to do that is to not pass the needle from instrument to instrument. That's really hard.
Okay.
So the better way is holding the suture. So when it's holding the suture, you can use the needle, dangling the needle,
Okay.
and then you can touch the surface and then adjust a little bit, and then we pick it up like that. If you need to pivot a little bit, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So dangling it, it's easier to pick up the suture, pick up the needle. Okay. Use the forceps holding the suture. Holding a needle pointing towards your shoulder. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, put one stitch here. Yeah, good. Have you tried micro before?
I did it one time when I lost.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so you're pretty good. Okay. So the microsurgery, the knot tying method, there's different method you will see in the OR. One is the traditional, very conventional method. We translate from the knot tying in general surgery. Like we holding the long end, and I think about when we're doing general practice, you hold the suture out and then holding the suture and then make loops always in the needle holder. The same thing, needle holder, make loops on the needle holder and tie knots. First one, second one, and then three. Mostly 3 knots good enough. Okay. Okay, now you try this method. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay, give me the suture. So here's some tips for you to make it easier. My first one is we want the suture length is important. Like this one, we should like about 6 millimeter. And then the second thing is holding the suture evenly. Like we pulling one, it becomes a slip knot. So we're pulling it evenly, and then the knot will become a very good square knot. Don't pulling it one straight, just kind of loosely pulling two. And then the third thing is, when we make loops, this instrument is always in between these two sutures.
Okay.
So don't go out here to make loops
Okay.
and then go that way. That's far, right? We need to travel. Always in between here. We're going to go here and then we'll go in between here. Instead of going here and then go here. That's far. And then one more thing is, see, I bring the loop very close to here, very close to the short end.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why when you see I doing it fast, it's not I'm moving fast.
Right.
It's because I less travel and more efficient.
Okay.
So here I make a loop and then catch.
Okay.
And then here I make a loop and catch.
Okay.
So every time I'm very close to that. So microsurgery, we should slow down to avoid making mistake. To be fast is to not moving fast, but be efficient.
Right.
Okay, here you try tie a couple knots. Yeah. Train a little older a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, good. Pretty good. You did pretty good. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, go that way, but okay. And then the second method is our training method for the beginner. So at the beginner, we want to improve our hands dexterity by doing things under the microscope. So at the beginning, we practice tie knots, take turns, left hand and right hand.
Okay.
After I tie first knot, pass the suture, and then I tie second knot, pass the suture.
Oh, okay.
Three
So
knots.
use the other instrument.
Yeah. So you can see this technique, this method advantages. We don't need to kind of cross our instrument to tie a square knot. We always just pull it to left to right.
Okay.
Because we bypass the suture, we already crossed the suture. So that can help us to avoid cross our hand. So at the beginning, I see a lot of students, like they tie knots, and then they need to struggle which way to pull it straight to lay a flat knot. So that method is kind of making the training at the beginning have more fun because you don't need to think. There's a good quote in. Have you watched the Top Gun?
Oh, I saw the. No, I haven't.
Yeah, the Top Gun, and
This is the
then
second one.
Tom Cruise and Rooster.
Yeah.
They talk about fighting airplane. That just do it, don't think. You need to train until you don't need to think. The same thing of everything, right? If we walking downstairs, you need to think, okay, flex my hip,
Right.
and then extend my knee, and then that's really hard.
Right.
So our brain don't need to think too much. They just want to have fun. So this method we train both our left hand and right hand to tie knots. So it's not about like left-handed, right-handed. So I remember I went to one webinar, and then a professor said, okay, you just tie knots like you tying the regular knots, always use a needle holder to make loops. And I feel I don't have that. I didn't do that. I just do left hand, right hand. It depends on the situation. And I think about that. I remember that's because when I was a resident, I see a teacher doing this for some reason in that situation. Maybe there's one, this part don't have enough space, he passed the suture and then tie knots on the other hand. But I don't understand, I just see it and I feel, oh, it's fun, and then I do that way, and then slowly I get used to both hand tie knots. So that's a good trading method, and also a very helpful method in the situation of we have some difficult. Yeah, turn the needle holder, pointing towards you, the shoulder. Yeah. Move the microscope to the middle a little bit because so the camera can catch what we do. Try to use the needle holder to pick it out, because the forceps is too small tip. It's not designed to catch the suture, catch the needle. Yeah, start by the needle holder. Okay. Yeah. So I leave it shorter. So tie a surgeon's knot. Okay, let go. Yeah. Tie a surgeon's knot. Most of the time, when there's a tension, use a surgeon's knot. Yeah. Make two loop. Yeah, nice. Okay. And pass the suture. Pass the suture to the forceps. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pass the suture. Yeah. Pick up the suture one more time. Now the suture is behind your suture needle is hard. Yeah, good. You pick it up, okay? Bring it back to in front of you when we pass the suture. Okay. Yeah, you pick up what I want you to do very quickly. Oh, yeah, hold on. Right here, you're still holding the suture like this way. I'll tell you what happened. There's small detail, making it easier or the game changer. Like we holding the suture like this way, it's hard.
Right.
Now we see the suture is under our needle holder. That's why it's hard. Okay. Yeah. Now we see now the suture is in front and above our needle holder.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Now you will see it's easier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bring it back to in front of you. Yeah. Now it's still hard. Yeah. Pick up the suture. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's what I want to tell you. Yeah. Change the needle holder a little bit. Turn the needle holder pointing down. Sometimes that will be helpful. Okay, nice. Yeah. Yeah, so this method is really good for training. So that's why the PGY1 they can pick it up, and they feel, oh, I can do it, because microsurgery, before you try it, the stereotype is very, very hard. Like my teacher, he said, when he want to go to microsurgery, his friends said, "Are you crazy? This kind of only crazy guy will go to microsurgery." Microsurgery is still pretty hard. Yeah, but something can change is the teaching. You practice with the right method and has a good teacher that can make it easier to get stuff. Yeah, turn. Yeah, now good. Now you can correct yourself. That means you can be a teacher. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Use the needle hold. Use the forceps to hold in the suture. Turn your forceps to the other side. Yeah. And then pull your needle holder down. Turn your needle holder pointing down. Yeah, like you can hold in your needle holder like this way. So that pointy tip pointing down is helpful to pick up the start using the needle forceps holding the suture. Yeah. Oh, forceps holding the needle. Yeah. The needle holder go from this side. Okay, and use a new suture. Okay, let's move the microscope a little bit to the cleaner part. Okay, now that's the treating method. So here's a little bit more I want to share to you. Two things I want you to remember. When you pull the suture out, just use one hand to pull it all the way out. And then the third, to be efficient, is every step prepare for your next step. So like pick up, if we pull the suture to the left, and then we pick it up on the left, and then when we bring it back, see the suture is pointing towards this side, making it really hard to make loops. So the first thing I want you to bring it back to in front of you, the path, and then pick up the suture. Now you can see the suture is pointing this way. It's very easy to make one loop or two loops. Okay, so one is in front of you. The second thing is the long end should be 2.5 to 3 times of the short end. This way can help us to make two loops easier, and then when we don't have to pull really far away out of the field. 2.5 to 3 times short end, and then every time go back to in front of you. Like if you pass the suture in here, or we go to pick up the suture like this way, like this one the suture is under my forceps, making it hard to make loops. Like if I bring it back to in front of you and pass the suture, so it's naturally very easy to make loops. This one is also the same. Go back to in front of and pass the suture like that. See? Use two hands, not just always two hands. And make loops is not just use one hand, and you use two hands. Okay. Yeah. Tie a couple more knots before you cut the suture. Now we should start by the needle holder because it's supposed to pull like this way. Yeah. Turn your needle holder. Now it's hard. Now because your hand is pronate. Pronate is hard because you don't have capacity to supine your hands anymore. That's some fiber there. Okay, bring it back to in front of you. Yeah, now your hands supine. Pronate, supine. Okay, now you see it's hard to pick up the suture by the forceps. You can, let's see. Let me tell you this. Like the forceps, you see it's very well designed and only touch the tip. That makes it hard because we want to pick up the suture, we need to go to the very tip. Sometimes it's not good, not easy. So this is the dilator. The dilator is a little bit, we can touch one segment on the tip. So the dilator usually is better in handling the suture. So you can see the teacher, when they doing the microsurgery, when they're doing anastomosis, they may switch to use dilator. And this round handle is also like the round handle forceps is long, so it can, the tip can touch a little bit longer in the tip. That's also good for the suturing. Yeah, you can hold it a little bit harder. Yeah, at the beginning it's kind of, you don't know how much force should be. Sometimes your hand grip the instrument really hard and starting to getting sore. So there are some small detail can make you, it's very helpful for the beginning. Okay, yeah, good. You pick up this method very quickly. Okay. Now, and there's two more methods. Usually you will see in the, we teach here. You may not see that other two methods often. One is the airborne method. Airborne method is the method developed by Professor Han-Xi Chen in Taiwan, and the chair in Mayo. He published that paper. He's now a Mayo. At that time, he was the micro fellow in Taiwan Chang'an Memorial Hospital, Dr. Madili.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone thought that he invented that method. So the method is, the point is, we control the short end, and then we don't need to put it down. Mm. And we control the short end. So the one of the problem in the real surgery is the surface is wet, and then when we put the suture on the wet surface, it's like picking up in here. We catch the tissue, and like here we catch the fiber, making it really annoying. So in this one we put it down, but we control the short end, so the short end won't go away. Control it and then catch it. So the knife will still fly away a lot of time. So it's wet surface and our instrument is wet. That's even easier because the facial tension, the surface tension can kind of making the suture attached to the instruments. See, I use the needle holder to support it, then I raise and catch it. We have a video on our YouTube channel. And here we catch it. Yeah. So this method usually I teach the PGY 5, PGY 6. But slowly the PGY 1 they all want to take the challenge because it's so much fun. Yeah. And then I realized they struggle a lot, and then it's kind of only the hand got improved. Their brain and their confidence also got improved. Yeah. So slowly I teach them at a PGY 1. They may not really pick it up, but slowly they try to use this method again and again, and then making they can do this method better. And then there's another one, see? So this method is we 100% control our both ends. We won't lose it. So we suppose when there's nobody can help you, or we supposed to be working in a very deep surface like the chest cavity or in the oral cavity. If we suppose we lose the short end, it's really hard to pick up. Nobody can help you. I would like to use this 100% sure airborne. Yeah, so I think you may not see this method.
Yeah, this one.
We haven't published this method yet. Okay, yeah, cut it. Yeah. Okay. This is a long suture. Okay, those two methods will take a little bit more time. So I would like to teach you use the one of the method of placing the stitch. This one is also very helpful for you. you can pick it up and then you can use it right away. This method is this model is a very simple model. I used to help the resident to learn how to play stitch. So the line is one vessel, and then we cut it here, and then create the proximal and distal end of the vessel. Okay. Now you try put one stitch here, and then I will. Yeah, like this is a vessel. Like this is 12 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
This is 6 o'clock. Yeah. We can start in the 12 o'clock. Yeah.
A bit too small.
Yeah, so you put your needle holder here to holding the suture down, a vessel down. That's a long suture.
Yeah.
So the short suture is easier. Long suture is really hard at the beginning. Okay. And then you can use a needle holder to catch the suture. And tie knots, making it a little bit shorter. Okay. Surgeon's knot. You want the edge even. So when we pick up the suture, supine, yeah, probably it's really hard to move forward. Yeah, here.
Oh.
Yeah, yes.
Now I want to try the one that you showed me. So you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I accidentally pulled. Okay, now string knot is good enough. Microsurgery. In this model, I want to talk about two things. One is the needle direction. So, like we holding the needle, like this is the most stable way when the needle is perpendicular to the needle holder. And then the needle direction depends on the vessel. Like if we holding the needle like this way, in and out, that's not good. It didn't line up. Like if we want to line it up, when we in, and then we adjust. It's hard after we done the entry bind. So the needle direction I prefer here is we put holding the needle parallel to the vessel, so we can turn the needle a little bit, or we can bring our hand a little bit to the middle, so to line up the needle with the axis of the vessel, so we can do in and out, and then line up. We don't have to adjust in between. And then the second thing about the needle direction is the needle tip. So if you're holding too close to the tail, the needle pointing up. That's not good. We need to adjust a lot. That's not comfortable. And we also don't want the needle holder putting down because there will be high risk of hitting the back wall. So we want the needle holder horizontally, kind of to the surface, like this. So this is, we don't have to adjust a lot. We can do the pierce very simple and easy. When in some situation is, if the vessel is really thin, we want to hold the needle holder pointing, the needle tip pointing up, because it pointing up, it can reduce the risk of hitting the back wall. That's only one of the situation I want to hold the needle holder pointing up a little bit. Okay, now you try. Oh, that's the best one. This one. Yeah, this is the Japanese product suture. Let's do a little bit cheating.
Is this okay? Unlocked it. How do I unlock this? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now we start by the needle holder. Okay. Okay, now I'll show you one more special thing, little tip. The method of stitching, method of pierce the vessel. So I see you already use that method. Like in the general practice, I will come out the microscope. I will stitch, for example, the skin or something. When we're holding it, we turn our needle holder and turn our hand, and then come out, we turn our hand. But under the microscope, if you like turning this one or tilting up the needle coming up, sometimes that's very often we bend the needle because this needle is really good quality and thick. Micro needle, 50 micron, 100 micron. It's very easy to cut bend it. So we do a little bit slightly different in the microsurgery. I don't know, and I don't know about that. At the beginning, I bend the needle again and again, like it's not only bend. Some after a while, the needle become a snake. Yeah, it's really bad. And slowly, I getting better. I never bend the needle anymore. But I don't know what has been changed. And when I start teaching here, I see the difference of what the student do and I do, and then I realize that's the way we can do training at the beginning. All we need to do is just move forward. Like I will raise the edge of the vessel wall, and then I press down. By pressing down, the needle tip, that point, we want to pierce. We create a difference from here to here. So all we need to do is just move forward. And on the other side, try not to use this method, try to catch it. If we go down and then catch it, there's really high risk of catch the bad one. So after we pierce, holding the needle still in the air, and then pick up the distal and put it on the tip. That's 100% sure, only the front wall on the tip. And then we press the distal down, and then our hand just move forward again. So if we don't do that, we would like to turn and come out. And then the suture, that's a high risk of tear the vessel, and then bending the needle coming up, bring the needle coming up, that's when we bend the needle. So we're still holding the needle in the place. Instead of moving the needle too much, press it down, and then just move forward. Sometimes we grab the suture, the vessel, and push it, like pulling it towards it. We don't push, like punch the vessel wall towards the needle, because think about it, the forceps is 0.05. If we use a very sharp needle forceps to punch it, push it like that way, it's also making it a damage to it. So we grab the edge and adventition and pulling it towards it, or use the side and then press the distal down and just move forward. Use the needle to pierce the vessel. That's safer. So that's the key thing, making the stitching easy. Okay, try. My suture is the training suture. The needle is not good. Yeah, your suture is the real suture. My suture is like $10. Your suture is $100.
Which suture?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. If you don't want to pivot the needle too much, too big angle, you can bring your hand towards the middle a little bit. That can compensate some of the orientation. Yeah. And press down. Yeah. Nice. Okay, 3.5 to 2.5 to 3 times of the short end.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're holding that way. You need to pull very far away.
So it Oh, I didn't do a surgery, so
up and you bring it back to in front of you. Yeah. Yeah, now this you can see the difference.
Yeah.
The sutures behind your needle. Yeah, now that's good, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Maddie is waiting outside.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
keep practice, and
Okay.
then I will go
Okay.
grab.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Finish this up. And yeah. So Serena is good enough for microsurgery. Mm. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank
You,
you.
yeah. Pretty very smooth. You don't have any struggle. Good student. Okay. Nice. some words in our wrap up. Mm. Yeah, there's always some small detail, and that small detail sometimes we didn't able to, we won't pay attention to it, even we watch the video until the teacher talk about that.